What's happening, y'all? That's a tune called the Legacy Jig. It's one that I did on the flute a long time ago, and I thought it'd be worth another look. I'm also using this as an opportunity to extend this tune into the Patreon world, where we do a real deep dive, break down the excruciating minutia of a tune like this, and you can see some of the things that I do, some of the more advanced things that I dive into when I'm playing this tune. So, let's break it down. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the basic melody first, like we usually do, and then dive into some of the ornaments, sort of a, for lack of a better word, standard set of options and ornaments that I would do with a tune like this. But let's talk about the basic melody first. It's a tune in G. Grab yourself a D whistle. You can play in G starting here. Please tell me you already know that, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Here we go with the basic melody, nice and slow. That's the first half of the A part anyway. Hopefully you're able to pick that up. Break down the second half, which is mostly a repeat, at least the beginning of it repeats, and then the second half, or the last bit of it, rounds off differently, as you might expect. So here we go, the second half. So it just stays in that higher octave a bit longer. Play the whole A part all the way through, again, nice and slow. How'd you do? Hopefully you're able to get through that one okay. If not, run that a few times. Make sure you're feeling comfortable with the A part. Now we're going to dive into the B part, which is in the second octave, but not nearly as squeaky, at least not as much, I think. And it starts on the second octave E. So here we go. Really, it kind of exists in a very short range there, a small range, which kind of nice for your ears, I suppose. Here's the second half of the B part. It starts the same as the first half, but again, rounds off differently. Sort of ends the same way that the A part did, which, again, you might expect. That's a fairly common trick that these tunes use. Let's run the whole B part all the way through, still nice and slow. That's the whole thing. Hopefully you're feeling good about the basic melody before we dive into ornaments. A lot of rolls right there. I think I had 3 rolls just in that one little phrase. I would start with a slide into that first G. It's a nice groovy kind of way to get into. You can also cut slide if you're feeling fancy. And then as you get to that high G roll, actually throw in an extra tap on the end of it, because there's 4 Gs in a row, which is a little weird. Good cut there, that also works, but cutting a high B, you have to have a fair bit of faith in your whistle, and I do. So if you don't, sliding into it is a much safer bet, and still has a similar effect. It's not quite as punchy as a cut, but it's a cool sound. Couple of rolls there. It's a jig, it's got that lilty yet-and-d sound, so if you can throw in a few of those rolls, it's only going to amplify that and really sell that, I think. I am doing a lot of tonguing to separate these and give it that lift, or hopefully give it some of that lift, rather than just either a legato, all notes connected, or a very staccato machine gun sound. I want to have some sort of a mix, so some notes are a little bit shorter than they would be written on paper. Then to finish up, we're way up high. I really want to accent that that kind of falling down phrase. So every one of those beats, I'm cutting that one, which again, need to have some faith in your whistle. Cutting on that high A after hitting a high B. The double cut that I do on the low, or the E in that phrase, I've used that a fair few times. I'm cutting with the ring finger here and then the top finger on my right hand. And then a single cut just to finish it. You could do a sort of a trilly thing if you wanted to, but keeping that same rhythm, hitting those accents on those notes makes that part work, I think. That made absolutely no sense. Hitting the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm going for there. And what we didn't talk about in the basic melody is how you get from the A part to the B part, and vice versa from the B part to the A part to turn around again. Here's what I'm doing. As I hit that, I land on the A from the A part, and then I do a triplet into a roll on that E. And I'm actually sliding into that as well. And that same double cut that we talked about in the A part, I'm using it here as well. It's a really nice fluttery kind of sound on that E. Or you could tap, do an extra tap. Now, on the second octave D, you've got a few options, and I think I probably did both, I'm not sure. You can do a cran, or you could do a triplet. I would use both, and mostly because I'm trying to find some variety and gives this very small tonal range a little bit of variety. That's how I do it. And then you come out of that. You can do a few different things there. That's a real simple way to do it. Very basic. Just using tongue to give it that lift, or you can throw in some rolls if you want. And again, I would do both and give yourself some opportunity to see which sounds better. That's how I play this tune. If you want to go on the excruciating minutia deep dive with me, check out my Patreon. That's going to be an ongoing series, I think. So we're going to take a tune every month and really break down the details. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.